Listen. The Giants have. I don't listen. I don't want to hear any more Dave Gettleman slander. I don't want to hear any more Dave Gettleman slander because Dave Gettleman went out and took the biggest W. The Giants had the best offseason so far. Now, I know championships aren't won in the offseason, divisions aren't won in the offseason, games aren't even won in the offseason. It's the offseason for a reason. But the Giants just won. I mean, they just won the hell out of the offseason. Dave Gettleman went into this offseason with $6 million in cap space and came out with Kyle Rudolph, Adoree Jackson, Kenny Galladay. I mean, a haul. You know how much better this offense looks from what he's done? You know how much better this defense looks? And I want to just talk about this defense. We just added Adoree Jackson. To what we already had last year, where we had a guy who probably is a fourth best cornerback on most teams as our second corner. For most of that year, we had that guy as our second corner. We had Isaac Yadam there. We had Ryan Lewis there. These guys had no business being our second corner. And guess what? We have a starting number one corner, a number one corner level player, and Adoree Jackson being our second corner now. We were ninth in defense last year. We were a dominant defense last year. And we added Adoree Jackson, the former track star, the speed corner, to be the perfect complement to James Bradbury. Are you kidding me? Like, you got to be kidding me. We really went out and added this dude. The Giants this is an elite defense. It was already an elite defense, but this is a legit elite defense. Washington, they added William Jackson, and I like him and Fuller together as a corner tandem, but they don't have the safeties. Dallas, they got one corner. They don't have the safeties, and they don't have a second corner. So you think they might take one in the draft, but they're not proven. Philly, they got Darius Slade. That's about it. That's really about it. They got McLeod. He's a pretty good safety, but they don't have what we have in New York. They do not have that secondary that we have in New York. And then to go along with it, we got Leonard Williams up front. We got Dexter Lawrence up front. We got the rotation, Austin Johnson. We got B.J. Hill. We got a rotation, Odenabo coming over from the Vikings. This Giants defense is scary. I mean, scary. I did not think that we would make this defense that much better before we even got to the draft. There's not much projection going on, man. We're bringing guys over who've been playing in similar schemes, similar systems, culture fit kind of guys. We didn't go out and just sign random people. Logan Ryan, shout out to Logan Ryan. People want to say I look like Logan Ryan, man. Listen, Logan Ryan is a good dude, man. Logan Ryan is a good dude. He brought in, people want to say we shouldn't have brought him back, but guess what? Logan Ryan recruited Adoree Jackson. Logan Ryan recruited Kenny Galladay. Those are our top two free agents, and Logan Ryan brought both of them in here. I think that $7 million was well spent. To me, that's well spent because I did not expect that he would be so serious, so involved in this recruiting process. Him and Jabril Peppers. Are you kidding me? Look at this defense. We're going to line up. And then this is just what we usually line up in because Jabril Peppers is usually at that second nickel backer. So you're going to line up Jabril Peppers at that nickel backer, as that second linebacker, the coverage guy who's going to be on those tight ends. And we did a really good job last year, mind you, and, blitz when he needed to. But enough of what he does. They're going to have Logan Ryan beside him. And then you're going to have Xavier McKinney deep. And that rotation, they can literally disguise whatever they want to do. They can literally move them around in triangles and just rotate positions. The defense won't know who's doing what because they all can play deep. They all can play in the box. Then you have James Bradbury on the other side, arguably had the best season for a cornerback last year. I'm not talking about just interceptions. I'm talking about locking people up. Locking them up like nowhere. They're not going anywhere. And now you're telling me, let me not even be disrespectful. Darnay Holmes, the rookie last year, the 4th round pick last year in the slot, had a great season last year. He locked up CeeDee Lamb that one game. Darnay Holmes didn't give up a touchdown last year. Darnay Holmes is the truth. And then beside him, you're telling me you're going to have Adoree Jackson beside him? First off, man, the speed that he brings to this defense is going to be seen day one. It's going to be seen day one. I don't know if he'll return kicks and punts because he does have that injury history. You know, last year he had some injury issues. I don't know if he'll return. But that speed, especially when he gets his interceptions, because he's going to catch a couple because you got to throw it somewhere. So that speed is going to show up day one. I just love this defense, man. I love the defense. And this isn't even acknowledging what we did on offense. This isn't even acknowledging the fact that we added Kenny Golladay on the other side. How can people go through this offseason and be angry with Dave Gettleman? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Dave Gettleman went out. He put on his super GM hat, and he really showed up to work. He showed up to work. I mean, we got people staying in a facility 48, 72 hours, having to go to hotels because they still are staying here. I mean, they probably took them to every restaurant. They got them going out to dinner with our players. Adoree Jackson, we already knew he'd be here because last year he was following everybody, like following like 6 or 7 players on the Giants last night. You know he's not following all those Giants players and going to the Eagles. And I love it. Eagles fans continue to cry. You want to tank games. You want to laugh and ha, and talk about what we should have done. Talk about the fact that you know, we should have won more games, even though, I mean, I'm not going to get into the specifics. The Eagles want to forfeit games and do that. Listen, nobody wants to come to a team that's forfeiting games like that. It's not about we're so mad because the Giants didn't make the playoffs. I'm happy we have the 11th pick. I'm so happy we have the 11th pick. And we saw what happened to the division, to this team that went to the playoffs from this division. They lost. So I'm so happy we're sitting there at 11 because now we're going to have a chance to add Rashawn Slater. We're going to be able to look at players like Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith and Patrick Surtain and Caleb Farley right in the face and tell them, we don't even need you. We don't even need these players anymore because we did such a great job in free agency. And I think these are smart signings. These aren't just random guys. These are guys that fit the scheme. And people are saying we overpaid. You're going to see next year that we did not overpay. $13 million for a guy, what Adoree Jackson is going to come in and do for us this upcoming year, I promise you, is not an overpay. It's just not. Because this pass defense is probably going to be the best pass defense you've seen in a long time. And like I said, then we have the chance to go into the draft and fix this offensive line, get 2 more starters if possible, if we want to keep Parrott at right tackle and we get that right guard starting. And then we can add a pass rusher. If we add a pass rusher to this team in the top 3 rounds, I mean, the sky is the limit, man. This defense is really coming to being completely complete. Like, we don't need any more starters there. We could really roll out this defense now and be a top 4 or 5 defense. It's amazing that we've put this together in such a short time. And people say Gettleman works slow. Well, listen, in the past 2 years, look what he's done to the defense. I just cannot believe this, man. I mean, this free agency was much bigger than I expected. It was much bigger than I expected. I thought that we'd probably get Leo back. And I said, maybe, you know, if Golladay hits free agency, we go out and get him. But the fact that we're looking like this, man, hats off to Gettleman. Hats off to Gettleman. You see, I already have my hat off. I'm not even wearing a hat. I haven't made a video not wearing a hat in about a year. But I had to take my hat off to Gettleman. Great offseason, man. Great offseason so far. All you got to do is just not take Gregory Rousseau at 11. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is just not take him. Because first off, I don't want him messing up this defense. I just don't want it. But what an offseason. What an offseason. Adoree Jackson is a New York Giant. And I just love it, man. I just love it. This division is ours. There's no one in this division that scares me enough to say that they can score consistently against this defense because they couldn't do it last year. Curtis Samuel, sure, you can add your hybrid running back receiver. We got someone for that speed. We got Adoree Jackson for that speed. So pick your poison. Pick your poison because you got to throw it somewhere. And you're not going to be able to run the ball because we got Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams up front. And Blake Martinez and Reggie Ragland up there. And Jabril Peppers helping to run support. And by the way, our corners play the run. So I can't wait for this season. I cannot wait for this season. And I cannot wait for the draft. More content is going to be coming soon covering this beast of a franchise. Dave Gettleman is a beast. Joe Judge is a beast. That connection of them together and Patrick Graham, all we need is a new offensive coordinator. But those three together, big things, man. Big things.